Tonight, I meet Jesus. I play baseball with a man's head and I get attacked by a zombified child. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In tonight's video, we will be getting the Platinum Trophy for The Walking Dead: A New Frontier. And you have no idea how happy I am to be getting a Platinum Trophy again, unlike last video.
We are back, baby! We are fucking back! We're back!
There is 31 trophies required for the Platinum, and they are all earned by simply playing through each chapter and finishing the game. As always, if you enjoy the video, leave a like, comment what games you want to see next and subscribe. So in this game we actually play as Javier Garcia, aka Javi, who is an ex-baseball player. Not that you'd know, he doesn't wear baseball clothes and carry a bat all the time. But this is a flashback to the very start of the outbreak, which is a nice change. Oh, and this dick is his brother David. So, yeah, basically Javi missed his father dying, wee bit awkward, but it's because there was so much traffic, don't blame him. Oh wait, never mind. Looks like his dad is still alive. Why was everyone cracking up for? Ah shit. So Mama Garcia has been chomped on and David is wrestling with my dead dad. So before he bites anyone else, I kill him with a smack to the back of the head. So David rushes Mama Garcia to the hospital, while me, Kate David's wife, and David's two kids, Mariana and Gabe, get in the car and floor it. Jump to the present day, and we see things have changed drastically. Javi now has a beard, and there is walkers everywhere. So before we are overrun, we get back in the car and drive off. I swear the Walking Dead games just have you be a parent, but instead of one kid to look after, it's two. But I've played the first and second game, I know how to raise a kid in the apocalypse. Nothing will happen to these two.
Are you sure about that?
We then get our first trophy of the video. So we arrive at a junkyard looking for fuel, and after quickly looking around for some cars to get fuel from, we do some quick pumping, followed by more pumping, to get the fuel we need. But after a little bit more investigating, we find an abandoned shack in the junkyard, and inside is packed full with food and beds. So I make the decision we're going to stay here tonight. I then head back to grab the fuel, and oh, of course I'm being held at gunpoint. So they then make me head back inside the shack to see if anyone else is with me, but luckily everyone else managed to hide. This twat then decides now is a good time to hit me, so I return the favor on his mate when we are alone, and use the crowbar across his head. But unlike Kenny, I'm not as gifted with the crowbar. But I managed to get his gun and knock him out. Javi then throws the gun down instead of shooting these guys, what a moron. So what goes around comes around and I get pistol whipped myself. This gets us the second trophy. I then wake up beside this absolute troll looking weirdo. But before I can comment on his appearance, a tree has collapsed in front of us, so he swerves to avoid in and ends up crashing. I swear no one can drive. The policeman in Season 1 crashed. Clem in Season 2 crashed. I wonder if anyone else will crash a car this game. Anyway, we then grab our gun and decide to shoot this guy while he tries run away because no mercy.
Started blasting. Bang! Bang!
But karma doesn't take long to hit me back, and I get held at gunpoint for the second time tonight. I then drop my gun, and wait a second, I recognize that voice. So yeah, Clementine has just rocked up to this game.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
And just like Lee and Kenny before me, I will be protecting her with my life. I wonder where Kenny and AJ are. I'm sure they are nearby and safe and completely unharmed. So we make a deal with her. In exchange for her helping me get back to the junkyard, she can have our van. We then unlock another trophy. So Clem decides to keep my hands bound, which means she is on walker duty. And oh my days, she done the knee thing. Jane taught her. She literally is just a mini walker killing machine at this point. So we then arrive at this nearby town, which happens to be an airfield called Prescott. But obviously, outside is covered in walkers, so we both rush our way toward the gate. But just as we get there, they close. Clem's bad luck then strikes again. Clem then tries shoot, but her gun isn't working. That's strange, so we save her, because I didn't drag her ass from game 1 just to see her die now. We then finally get let inside, and this is Trip. He basically tells us to be on our best behavior, blah blah. So yeah, we make it inside, and this looks like a town ripped straight out of Fallout.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
We then head inside the bar and meet Conrad and his wife Francine. But before we can talk to long, Clem is threatening this man because he sold her some dodgy bullets, and that's why her gun didn't work at the gate. She then tests out her non-working bullets on him and proves that they don't fire. Okay, Clem, I get your point, but don't aim and pull the trigger again, please. He then tries stab her, but Uncle Javi is here and gets in the way, so we quickly disarm him. And Clem carries on ranting at him and proving the bullets don't work. Turns out one of the bullets worked, and this guy has a hole in his head now. Everyone then surrounds Clem and tries to accuse her of murder, But Uncle Javi again comes in clutch and says that he attacked us, which he did, but was also reaching for his gun, so Clem shot him. But this just leads to us getting locked up for the night. But we get another trophy for our troubles. Once locked up, Clem says thanks for sticking up for her, and see how well mannered she is, Lee, and Kenny done a good job. This woman then shows up and says she is called Eleanor, but also that she is a doctor, so she can fix the cut under my eye. So while she tries to rizz me up, she also tells me and Clem that we can escape tonight with her help. So me and Clem decide to do just that, then we both decide to go to sleep. This leads to another Clem flashback where she is driving, and is that AJ in the back, and I knew he was alive, thank fuck. What did they do to his face? Thought anyone else noticed that? Anyway, Clem, AJ and Kenny on the road, I mean that's definitely a fun story. Clem then loses control of the car, however, and Kenny tries to correct it, but we end up crashing and ruining the car. AJ is alright, thank fuck. But wait, where is Kenny? Don't you fucking dare. Oh, never mind, he's alive, I'm so happy. But as Clem is helping Kenny up, he can't move, and it's here where he tells us that he can't feel anything. He has been paralysed. Walkers then start to surround the car with AJ still inside, so Kenny makes one last sacrifice and tells us to leave him, while he makes enough noise to let us escape. As Clem and AJ flee, we see Kenny getting eaten in the background.
No! No!
This gets us another trophy. So me, Clem and Eleanor decide to rock up to the junkyard Red Dead style. As soon we get there though, Mariana runs to us, and happy days she is still alive. We then see that Kate is inside a truck, but is surrounded. So me and the gang start cutting our way through the walkers one by one, making our way to Kate. It's here where I decide to turn into Ryan Giggs. I genuinely think few people will get that joke, so we all make our way outside the junkyard and are going to head back to Prescott. Mission accomplished. If you ask me, even Mariana is excited. Oh, this game is fucked.
Oh, no, no, no.
Kate then decides to try grab her body while under machine gun fire and gets shot, who would have thought. I then manage to pick one off while Kate and Gabe move to cover. Eleanor, Kate and Gabe all head back to Prescott while I stay with Clem and cover them because am I fuck leaving Clem on her own. This guy then throws a bomb, and in another effort to save Clem, we rush over and toss it into the air. We then get another trophy. Another flashback now, and it's just Javi and Kate flirting as usual. How no one's seen this happening before the outbreak is beyond me. I then wake up from my nap in the present, and it's here where me and Clem bury Mariana. After investigating the dead bodies of the people who attacked us, we see they have branded their skin. Clem then tells me that this group is called the New Frontier. Shit name, not going to lie, but she says that they are a group of bad people, so we take her word for it. I then make my way back to Prescott, and Tripp tells me Kate is over on the bench. Eleanor then says that basically she's going to die, so I'm sure Javi has had better news. I then bump into Gabe outside the walls, and he is being a little bitch and will continue for the rest of the game. But his crying gets interrupted by cars approaching in the distance, but we get another trophy. Me, Clem, Tripp and Conrad get on the walls while the trucks pull up, and it's our new friends from the New Frontier who get out. So they are saying they want me to come with them to answer for my crimes. Sorry, have we been seeing the same things? They literally shot a child. Turns out they have captured Francine, and they propose a prisoner exchange. But before we can answer, they just cut one of her fingers off. So I then decide to open fire and get myself a free kill. This results in Francine getting shot in the back.
No. Anyway, last week...
And then everyone just starts spraying bullets at each other. But these guys have an ace up their sleeve and ram the gate with a truck. A truck that happens to have captured Walkers in the back, and they start pouring out inside Prescott. So I start fighting my way through the smoke and walkers to find my family. And after taking a few walkers down, we save Gabe because he is useless. All the main people jump into the cars and flee, while the rest of the town get eaten. This gets us another trophy. We then meet up at an intersection, and it's here where Conrad is pissed that I apparently got Francine killed. To make matters worse, Gabe has pulled a gun on Conrad. I mean, I don't blame him, he's a dick, but settle down, Gabe. I then tell him to drop the gun and stop being a twat, and he then runs off and goes to huff in a bush somewhere. We all jump back into the cars and I'm with Kate in the back seats. Probably not for the first time. But it's here where we all decide we are going to a survivor-run town called Richmond, which help people. This gets us another trophy. We then arrive at a bridge, but soon find out that it is blocked off by a ruined car. So me and Tripp starts to try come up with any ideas to move it. So after looking around for a while, I find a winch and attach it to the car blocking the tunnel. This obviously makes a shit ton of noise. Turns out on the other side of the car there is just a million walkers. So the car is getting surrounded. I quickly rush over and take out a few walkers, and this allows Kate and Eleanor to drive towards Richmond. The rest of us are left behind and getting overrun, so we climb up onto the gas station roof. While on the roof, me and the group manage to see someone watching us. So I start to investigate, and while heading to the roof, we find the person. Wait, I fell for the oldest trick in the book, and this leads to me being held at gunpoint for the 100th time this game. But Clem turns up and saves me from this guy who looks very familiar.
Well, well, well. How the turntables...
He then says he can lead us to Richmond, but it's been taken over by the New Frontier, so Kate and Eleanor are in trouble. He then tells us his name is Jesus. Yes, that one from the show. Not biblical times. This gets us another trophy. We then get another really quick flashback as Clem again, where while she is out hiding from walkers with AJ, she bumps into Ava, who is a member of the New Frontier. She then says that Clem and AJ would be far safer if she decided to join the New Frontier. We then cut back to the present, and it's here where Clem tells us that she did in fact join the New Frontier, and she has been branded. Further into the tunnels though, we get ambushed by more walkers because we can't have 30 seconds of peace. So I use the flashlight to fend a few off, before Bruce fucking Lee decides to take these two out with way too much flair. Javi, Clem and Gabe then decide we will stay back to block up the exit, while everyone else finds a way out of here. After quickly barring the door, the trio begin to leave, and why is this twat pulling a gun on us? Turn out Conrad heard Clem tell us that she was a part of the New Frontier. He thinks it will be a good idea to try give her to the New Frontier. He then grabs Gabe after I pull out my gun, so I'm going to give you 3 seconds to guess what happens next.
Kill him! Kill him!
This gets us another trophy. I then tell Trip that Conrad got killed by walkers was a real shame. Anyway, after looking around new, then find that Kate has been left in the back of the car and she's clinging on for dear life. So, out of ideas and options, we have only one, and that's to try get the New Frontier to help us out. Once at the gates, however, they draw their guns on us, and after trying to convince them, they finally open the gates, and several guards head out. Well, that was unexpected. We then get another trophy. Cut to us in another flashback just shortly after the start of the outbreak, and we have a younger Kate and Harvey out looking for resources. But while out scavenging, I get attacked by none other than an undead child, so I easily bash his brains in.
Yo, what the fuck? That was so fucked up, you guys.
This is then the part where Harvey and Kate decide to leave the old house with the kids, and it explains why we never met David before this point. Jump back to the present, and David manages to get Kate and Gabe inside. But me, Jesus and Trip aren't so lucky, and we are sent to a holding cell inside Richmond. It's in here where we find Eleanor, and that explains why she left Kate all on her own. But I'm not left in the cell long as David comes to retrieve me. This gets us another trophy. Once outside, I explain how it was his own men who shot and killed his daughter Mariana, which he honestly doesn't even seem too bothered by. But we then quickly check in on Kate before David takes us to the leaders of the New Frontier. This is where we meet Joan and Clinton, two of the leaders of Richmond, while David is another and head of security. It's during this meeting that we accuse against David's wishes. Some of the members of the New Frontier of killing Mariana, but some of the men spin this and say we attacked them first. So we call them all a bunch of bitches, and we then get escorted away. This gets us another trophy. So after only being here for 2 minutes, I managed to get us all kicked out. But it's here where Ava comes out and gives us a duffel bag full of supplies which David has given us. About time he done something for us. Inside the bag we see a map which David has marked out for us and is telling us to go to a certain location. So me and the lads head in that direction, but once out in the woods, we come across a few walkers. So I decide to put the new baseball bat to use and start cracking open heads with it.
Ah! Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
But I then get overpowered by another couple walkers, and it's here where a certain someone appears to help me out again. This is where we get another quick flashback with Clem and AJ, where AJ is sick and dying, so Clem sneaks into the New Frontier camp and steals medicine. So after injecting him, we then get caught, and no one is happy because apparently the medicine won't work on him and it was a waste. So they decide to take AJ from Clem. Imagine if Kenny was alive what he would do right now. This is where Clem is forced to say goodbye, and we get another trophy. I then give Clem a hug because she just needs one at this rate, like she has suffered so much at this point. But this doesn't last too long as we immediately have to fight off several walkers to get to where David said. And once we arrive, the group hold off the walkers. While I get the door open, then we all manage to get inside. It's at this point where David decides to show up and Clem instantly attacks him, but David hits her with a surprise and says that AJ managed to survive whatever infection he had, and this calms everyone down. Inside, though, we find a lot of items which used to be in Prescott, and it's here when we realise that Richmond is attacking and stealing from other communities. But we then have company as a few Richmond soldiers arrive, so we decide to ambush them, but guns get pulled and everyone starts fighting. I then chase the man who killed Mariana and attack him. Yeah, we then just start beating the shit out of each other. No idea how one of us isn't dead or severely brain damaged already, but I then manage to reach the shotgun and shoot this twat in the gut. It's here where Javi uses this man's head as a baseball. Let's just say you can call me Negan, and this guy is Glenn because I'm not going to stop swinging this bat till his head is completely opened.
Shit happens.
We then kept one of the men alive, and it's here where he tells us Joan ordered the attacks. We then get another trophy. Once outside, Jesus leaves and says he will come back with help. But me and the rest of the gang plan to head back into Richmond and kill Joan. So we sneak in through the sewers, and 'tis here where me and Tripp distract a few guards so we can sneak our way to Kate and Gabe. I then reunite with them in the hospital. But me and Kate decide to leave, while Gabe tries to find David, but that goes horribly, and I'm instantly caught by guards while Kate runs away. We then get another trophy. I then get escorted back to Joan. This is where we see David using the prisoner to expose what Joan has been up to, and she basically waffles on for a bit before she gets the guards to arrest me and David. So that went well. This gets us another trophy. So looks like I'm back in this cell again, and almost instantly David is taken away by Joan and the guards. So this leaves me alone to break out, but just when I needed help, Kate turns up and helps me escape. This gets me another trophy. We both then head back to where the rest of the group is hiding, and after Kate suggests we just leave, we look outside and see that outside Richmond is completely surrounded by walkers. So me and Gabe plan to raid the armory so we can be armed and save David. This gets us another trophy. Outside the armory, I'm telling Gabe to follow my instructions because he has a habit of fucking up everything, so guess what he does? But to everyone's surprise, he actually manages to lead the guard away, allowing me access to the armory. Once inside, me and Gabe have our pick of all the weapons and ammo we need, and just like Negan, we are reunited with our bat. It's at this point where Ava shows up, and she decides to help us because she's still loyal to David. As we are leaving though, a guard approaches, so me and Gabe hide in a spare room and wait for him to pass. Oh wait, never mind Gabe, you fucking idiot. So I jump out and save him, but while wrestling over the knife I get stabbed in the shoulder, but I manage to knock the guard out. So Ava says she will lead me to the hospital wing to get patched up. This earns us another trophy. Once inside the hospital, we find Dr. Lingard passed out and Clem searching for supplies. It's here where she tells me that Dr. Lingard is the person who knows where AJ is, so that's why she is here. Don't worry, Clem, I'll wake him up. So Clem then says she'll patch me up. I mean, she has had plenty of practice. It's here where we get another flashback to Clem and AJ, and for the last time, Kenny. Nothing major happens here, but anytime Kenny shows up, you're right, I'm going to show it. So we give him one last hug before we are sent back to the present. So once we are finished, Dr. Lingard says if we inject him with a drug which kills him, he will tell Clem where AJ is. So obviously I agree. I then stab him in the head so he doesn't turn. Clem then joins me, Gabe and Ava, and head back to the apartments. This gets us another trophy. Once we are back, Kate freaks out that I've been stabbed, and because it was Gabe's fault, he starts bitching to everyone, and it's at this exact point where he decides to tell everyone that I shot Conrad.
Oh my God!
Yeah, okay, Gabe. Definitely didn't do it because he had you at gunpoint, you little rat. But as usual, Clem has my back and says I had no other choice. But Tripp and Eleanor are pissed, so me and the rest of the gang go to steal a truck so we can save David tomorrow. So me and Clem make our way inside and sneak past the guards. So she then watches my back while I hotwire the truck, and then we take off before anyone can stop us. This gets us another trophy. So back in the truck, the plan is for me, Gabe and Clem to go get David while Kate drives the getaway truck. Pretty standard plan, would be hard to mess it up. But before I go, I drop some quick riz before we head out to save David. Once there, we see they're going to hang him. What the fuck is this medieval Europe? Anyway, to stop this, I confront Joan and start to tell everyone about how she has been attacking settlements. But it's here where Eleanor says she has told Joan of our plan. This means that both Tripp and Ava have been captured and are now held at gunpoint, so she makes me choose who I want to save, and I pick Tripp. But Joan pulls a fast one and shoots Tripp, So I pull a Uno reverse and shoot Joan. David then starts to be hung. So I cover Gabe, then cut down David. But fuck that, Clem is being surrounded, and I'm not letting her get killed, so I rush the guard and shoot him. Hearing this though, Kate drives towards us to try pick us up, and someone hits the truck with a Molotov, and this causes her to crash into the wall and explode, allowing the massive herd of walkers into Richmond. This gets us another trophy. So this is our last flashback of the game, and it's a pretty major. Javi, his dad and David are all in the house, and it's here where they both find out he has cancer. Fuck you, cancer. So that explains how he died at the very start, but also, he makes me promise that I will be a good brother to David. I mean, I'm trying apart from flirting with Kate. Back to the present, we search the truck for Kate, and then me and David go looking for her. But me and David are fighting a walker, and then she shows up to help us out. So she makes a beeline to me and avoids David, which is awkward. But we then see Clem and Gabe fighting off walkers before we all head inside the apartments. It's here where we get another trophy. Once inside, we find Eleanor, and she is comforting a woman whose daughter has just died. Oh, can people stop pulling guns on me? So she blames me. But then Kate stands in front of the gun and manages to talk her down. Thank goodness that's over. Oh wait, never mind. David has just snapped her arm, and when he goes to shoot her, Gabe tries to tackle him but gets slapped, which is the only thing David's done, which I like. This earns us another trophy. So yeah, me and David then stand on the edge of this building. I mean, are we both going to jump? I don't know.
I am going to commit suicide.
But after we have a heart-to-heart, all of us need to get our way to the bulldozer so we can close up the gap in the wall and save Richmond. It's here where Gabe actually does something nice for once and says when he grows up he wants to be like Javi. So cheers, mate. I take back about half of the bad things I said about you. We all then have to cross this dodgy part of the bridge, and it's here where Ava manages to save me. Thanks, Ava. Maybe one day I'll repay the favor. Oh, never mind. So for our next stunt, we have to cross the broken part of the bridge by swinging across the helicopter blade. So Gabe goes first and is perfectly fine, then everyone else until I let David go next. But in true Javi fashion, by the time I go, it's pure fucked and breaks. But I do manage to climb back up without getting myself killed. Once we arrive, we find that the area is covered in walkers. So as Clem quickly suggests, we should do what Lee done and cover ourselves in walker guts. I wonder who will have to do this shit job. Obviously it's me, so after drenching myself in some undead man's insides, I then calmly try walk my way towards the generator so I can turn it on and distract the walkers, which I managed to do after being very careful.
As my genius is... It's almost frightening.
We then all make it inside, and it's here where David is being a twat again, and says he is leaving Richmond behind and heading out on his own. So we then tell him that no one is on his side, and this starts a fight between him and me. But because I promised Javi's dad, who I met for 20 seconds in a flashback, that I wouldn't fight him, I let him batter me. Until Clem saves me again. So David leaves, and Gabe joins him while me, Kate and Clem decide to go back and help Richmond. This gets us another trophy. It's here where we bump into Jesus again and he's rounded up some help for us. But once inside Richmond, we see how fucked the situation is. There is hundreds of walkers here. So we get straight to work clearing them out and me and Clem are gunning them down. I then take the wheel and manage to plug the breach in the wall, stopping more walkers from entering.
We did it! We did it! We did it! We did it!
After this though, I take Clem to go find David. But as we arrive, we find the car has been crashed. No one can drive in these games. But we find that David has been killed and Gabe isn't in good shape either. When we arrive, we find he has been bitten multiple times and is bleeding heavily. Just when he started getting likable, he goes and gets himself killed.
Look how they massacred my boy.
So just like I've always done when someone is about to turn, I take the responsibility and shoot him. This gets us another trophy. So we then pay our respects and put photos up of all the ones we have lost. If you look at the photos, Javi directly contributed to about 3 of the dead people there. But it's here where I tell Jesus that I'm going to run Richmond from now on.
But get one thing straight. You're staying. This isn't a democracy anymore.
This gets us another trophy. I then do one last favor for Clem and cut her hair, because as a wise man once told her to keep that hair short. But she is leaving to go find AJ, and I tell her to bring him back here, and they can both stay, and me and Kate wave her off as she leaves to go find him. This gets us our last main trophy and is followed by the platinum. So guys, that was The Walking Dead: A New Frontier. Genuinely enjoyed that one a lot, especially seeing Clem for the first time, and also flashbacks of Kenny was nice. Plus, Javi is a very underrated character in the franchise. Honestly, if you haven't played the 4 games in this series, you need to. But as always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.